Welcome to American Medicine Today, presented by the Bonati Spine Institute, featuring the internationally acclaimed inventor of the Bonati spine procedures, Alfred Bonati, MD. Now here along with Dr. Bonati, your host, Kimberly Brumell.
Good Saturday afternoon, and thank you for joining us for American Medicine Today. I'm Kimberly Brumell, joined by our friend and new executive producer of AM Tampa Bay, Aaron Jacobson, our TV and radio senior fellow, Jeff Wagstaff.
Good afternoon.
And across from me, we have world-renowned orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Alfred Bonati from the Bonati Spine Institute. Thank you for being here.
Hello.
We tell you week after week about the benefits of the Bonati spine procedures. They have over a 94% success rate, and a recent 7-year study has shown that that actual number is closer to 98.75%, which is amazing by any standards. Dr. Bonati paved the way from traditional invasive open back surgery. He formulated his own tools and methods to bring relief to the masses, and as a result, we have the Bonati spine procedures, which nobody else offers in the United States except us. And that is why Bonati succeeds where others fail. So with that said, coming up on the show, we have Dr. Hogberg. Is that how we pronounce his name? And he's going to be speaking with us in regards to the VA scandal and how it will continue as long as bureaucracy runs the veterans' health care. And bureaucrats and the VA have been given some sort of incentives to manipulate the wait time data, and that the wait time scandal wasn't caused necessarily by the veterans moving onto that Sunbelt area, so to speak. And then we'll hear about what's new in American medicine today. But up first,
in today's Back to Life segment, we will talk to a patient of the Bonati Spine Institute who went from living a life that was restricted by pain and discomfort through their journey of finding the Bonati Spine Institute and are now living pain-free.
On the line, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Gary Luttrell. He is calling in from St. Pete Beach. Thank you for being here with us, Gary.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
The one thing I want to let everyone know is that you're a Congressional Medal of Honor recipient.
I am from the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Gary, why don't you kind of tell us your story? How did you end up in pain? Kind of walk us through the process.
I originally hurt my back in combat in 1970 in Vietnam. Recovered after a couple of weeks of downtime, and then re-injured it again when I was in a training accident in Panama. At that time, I was hospitalized for a couple of weeks. The treatment for back injury then was traction and muscle relaxers. And then I had a reoccurrence about 17 years ago and had back surgery. And the surgery did not benefit me at all. Matter of fact, I was diagnosed as failed back surgery.
Got it. At that point, what did you do?
I tried everything that I could. I tried physical therapy, different types of pain medicines. Pretty much, I had just come to the conclusion that my quality of life was going to be reduced for the remainder of my life.
Did this failed back surgery affect your service in the military?
It caused me to retire.
Got it.
I was out of the military and I was working with the Veterans Administration. I was the patient advocate at the Tampa VA Hospital, and when I had the back surgery, I could no longer work. And so I took a medical retirement from the VA.
Got it. So how long did you continue to suffer in pain from that previous failed back surgery?
17 years.
Wow.
And it just got to be progressively worse and worse. And I would say in the last year, I was having more bad days than good days. On a good day, I could get out of the house, walk with a limp. Pain on a scale of 1 to 10, probably 6 or 8 constant.
Right.
Wow.
On a bad day, I would be pretty much confined to the house with little to no activity whatsoever.
Can you describe the type of pain that was limiting your activities? Was it a radiating pain? Was it localized?
I had excruciating pain across the entire lower back, most prominent in the right SI joint,
Okay.
which is I'm thinking around L5S1 on the spinal column, and then a burning pain down the right leg and into my right foot.
Gary, it sounds like you suffered with that pain for quite some time. What led you to finally to seek a treatment or see if there was a solution to that pain?
I was at my son's basketball game, and there was a retired Army colonel there that had watched me walk, and he said, I know I've heard a little bit about you, and is that a war wound? And I said, well, I injured my back, and then I had failed back surgery. And he said, well, I work with the Laser Spine Institute. I highly recommend that you come in for a consult. I think we can benefit you. And I made a consult, was prepared to go in, and I received a call from a good friend of mine, Dean Kuchera, here in St. Petersburg, and he said, Gary, I've heard about both, and I highly recommend that you go to the Bonati Spine Institute. And so I called and made an appointment for a consult, and went to this Bonati Spine Institute. When I walked in, I was greeted by a very, very friendly group of people. I carried a copy of a MRI that was approximately 8 months old. But Dr. Bonati said, no, we have our own MRI right here on station. Let's get a new MRI. So within an hour, I had a new MRI. I was back in Dr. Bonati's office. He looked at the MRI and started diagnosing my pain. He said, from looking at the MRI, you've got pain, and he would put his thumb on my back and say, you have pain here, and I would jump and say, yes, I do. Continue to look at the MRI and say, you probably have radiating pain down the right side of your leg and maybe as low as into the foot. And he diagnosed, looking at the MRI, exactly what was my symptoms was, and he says, we can correct that and most likely get you to 85 to 90% pain-free.
Now, when you heard him say, we're going to correct that, be honest, did you believe him at first? You've been living with this pain for so long. I'm sure you've heard that before. When he said we can correct that, how did you feel about that?
I was a little apprehensive at first because of the failed back surgery. I had said numerous times I will never, ever allow anyone to operate on my back again. But when I was with Dr. Bonati and if we were looking at the MRI, it was obvious that I had a huge bulge disc. It was also obvious that I had a lot of calcification in the orifice where the sciatic nerve goes out at the L5S1 area. When he started explaining how he would trim the bulge and how he would cut the calcium away from the orifice and possibly trim the actual hip bone to relieve the pressure on the sciatic nerve. As he, in his words, I believe he said, we will let the sciatic nerve breathe once again. I become very optimistic at that point.
After suffering as long as you did, what does it feel like to be in that process where there's finally light at the end of the tunnel?
I rejoiced, and the first test 2 weeks after the last surgery, I went on a 5-day fishing trip up in Canada, out on a tugboat, lodge fishing in 10 to 12 foot seas for king salmon and halibut, and I'd done that for four straight days and nights without one bit of pain. And
I'm guessing it had been a long time since you'd done that, right?
It's a long time. That's the first vacation I've had in quite some time that I truly enjoyed because, once again, I was pain-free.
Wow. You know, especially when you're suffering for that long, you went a 17-year span because you didn't believe that there was an answer. And how was that affecting your life, though? Obviously, you're married. How was that affecting just daily activities? Like if you had any sort of gardening or just fun sports type stuff?
Well, unfortunately, I couldn't participate in sports. I'm an avid fisherman. I love to fish. And I have my own boat. I would go out in the boat, and I would watch my son and two grandsons fish through the day, and I may end up getting a half an hour, 45 minutes of fishing in an entire day.
Right.
The rest of the time, I was sitting with my knees pulled up, where I could get a little bit of relief. I love to play in the yard. My wife, as she's out in the yard right now, playing in her flower garden, and it got to the point that I said, "Sweetheart, we've got to hire someone to take care of this yard." She refused, and she would do it all herself, and it makes you feel a little guilty. It's like I'm in the house, sitting in an easy chair, looking out the window, watching my wife do all the yard work.
Isn't that why we marry?
And not really. I have a lot of other things that she can do instead of working in the yard, but she enjoys it. But it makes you feel a little guilty that you can't pull your fair share around the house.
Gary, hold that thought for just a second. We're up against a break, and we'll be right back with you. You are listening to American Medicine Today on News Radio 970 WFLA. Coming up after the break, we're going to hear more from patient Gary Littrell on how the Bonati spine procedures helped him. We'll be back in just a moment. Revolutionary in his field, Dr. Bonati created, perfected, and patented the Bonati spine procedures. Using his genius, Bonati invented precise tools necessary to minimize surgery, scarring, anesthesia, and recovery. So successful are the Bonati spine procedures, they consistently reflect over 94% patient satisfaction. 45,000 successful procedures have been performed exclusively at our location. Nearly half our patients suffer from failed back and neck surgeries at other facilities. Bonati succeeds where others fail. The Bonati Spine Institute is proud to announce more than a 94% patient-reported success rate in over 45,000 patent-protected spine surgical procedures. Call us today at 855-267-0483 or visit us at bonati.com.
All my pain is gone. Today I am totally pain-free. Nothing. No after effect.
I'm pain-free, and I have had to take any pain medication.
Today I am pain-free for the first time in over a year, and it is so awesome.
I only wish I'd known about it earlier. Right now, I am completely without pain.
Sitting here in this office right now, pain-free, eager to enjoy the rest of my life.
I am feeling great.
I feel 100% better, like a new person.
Today I feel absolutely fantastic. It's just incredible, the relief I feel right now.
Today I'm completely pain-free.
During the procedure, I literally felt the pain melt away. It was fantastic.
I feel so good.
It took care of my headaches instantly.
It's incredible. It's really incredible.
You gave me my life back.
It's just wonderful.
I feel fantastic.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So I'm hoping to be climbing hills in a few weeks.